We've been told to protect our joints, go easy, low impact, be careful. And I spent years believing that. And then I got an osteoporosis diagnosis and I started reading the research. The advice was wrong, and for a lot of women, it's costing them dearly. I'm Sue Kreitz. I'm a former research scientist, nutritionist, and a Qigong teacher. And I have a personal stake in everything I'm going to share with you now. I'm approaching 60 and I've been teaching Qigong for over a decade and practicing well beyond that. I eat well, I move regularly, and I pay attention to my health, and still I got diagnosed with osteoporosis. That surprised me and it pushed me in a deep research dive. PubMed, other scientific articles, physiotherapists, specialists, nutritionists, and what I found out changed how I think about movement entirely. Women over 50 are routinely told to slow down, to go gentle, to protect your joints. And that messaging comes from a good place. Nobody wants you to fall or fracture, but it's based on an incomplete picture. Because what bone and muscle actually need to stay strong, to rebuild, is resistance, load, challenge. Not punishment, not pain, but progressive, appropriate challenge. And most women aren't getting that. They're not doing that. They might be walking, doing some yoga or Pilates, some gentle stretching, but that is not moving the needle on bone health and even brain health. That's another topic. So here's what's actually happening with your bones. Bone is a living tissue. It's constantly being broken down and rebuilt by two types of cells: osteoclasts that resorb bone and osteoblasts that build it. The signal that tells osteoblasts to build: mechanical load. So when you load a bone, when you put weight or resistance through it, the bone bends very slightly. Walking is great, but it does not provide enough stimulus to support bone loss. Resistance training, lifting weights, using bands, body weight exercises with real load, those provide a stronger, more targeted signal. And the research on this is consistent. Postmenopausal women who do progressive resistance training maintain or improve bone density in ways that other forms of exercise don't match. There is also the fall prevention piece, which matters as much as the bone density itself. Most fractures happen because of falls. And what prevents falls is strength, balance, and coordination, which means you need exercises that address all three of those things, not just load bearing, but movement that requires the body to stabilize, react, and adapt. Now, here's where East Asian medicine or traditional Chinese medicine adds something useful. In TCM, or traditional Chinese medicine, the kidneys govern the bones. And it's not just the kidneys as organs, but it's the kidney system, which includes the adrenals, the bones, the nervous system, and what's called our Jing, or our deep vitality reserves. Movement, the right kind of movement, supports kidney qi, or kidney energy. And it keeps the energy flowing. It keeps the system from stagnating, just like water flowing down a river. But the kidney system is also the system most depleted by chronic stress, which brings me to something that I want to be honest about. Qigong, which I've taught for over a decade and practiced for longer, is genuinely powerful for the nervous system, for nervous system regulation, for cortisol, for sleep, for mental wellness, emotional balance, all of these things that have very powerful downstream effects on bone health. But Qigong alone is not a bone building exercise. It can help, but it's not enough. It doesn't provide the enough mechanical load that the bone needs. This is something I say as a Qigong teacher because I think it's important. The two approaches complement one another. Resistance training builds bone. Qigong creates the conditions for the body to heal and the nervous system to regulate, and you want both. So what does this actually look like? If you're new to resistance training, find some videos or go to a gym and hire a personal trainer. But if you've had a fracture or a fall before, or you have an osteoporosis diagnosis that is severe, go see a physiotherapist that specializes in bone health and women that are postmenopausal. They can assess where you are and identify any risk factors, watch what you're doing, and build a program for you. But otherwise, there is a lot of great videos on YouTube that are free. I recommend Dr. Lisa Moore from Brickhouse Bones. Also, the Haley Happens Fitness programs. I recommend both of those. But the minimum effective dose in the research is around 2 to 3 strength training sessions a week. So you don't need an hour, 30 to 40 minutes is good. The key is that it's focused, progressive, meaning you're constantly being challenged, and it's consistent. And when I say progressive, it means you need to challenge yourself. So if you're doing a 5 pound weight and you can lift it 10 times, and the last 2 reps are pretty tough, that's great, but that's going to get easier the more you do it. So you're either going to need to get a heavier weight with lower reps or increase the reps. Either way, you want to have about 2 reps in reserve, meaning it would be hard for you to do 2 more really good form reps. That's how you challenge the bone. This is what we call progressive overload, with the challenge increasing over time. And the same workout every week isn't going to work. Your body and your bones need variety. My own approach right now includes resistance training 3 times a week and then Qigong practices most days, and a lot of time outdoors. And of course, my supplements and nutrition are part of this program, which I'll talk about in other videos. That's what works for me. And so you're going to have to experiment on how to get that into your routine. I seem to really like it, which I didn't when I first started, but over time, there's endorphins, I feel more empowered, but the session itself is mentally engaging. You don't have to start everything at once. Have a conversation with your doctor or a trainer or perhaps a physiotherapist or a trusted friend that's doing this, and have an honest assessment of what your body needs right now. That's a great place to start. And if the nervous system piece and the stress piece is where you want to begin, I have a free 1-minute practice called the 1-minute reset. The link is in the description, but this can help to regulate the nervous system, to bring more clarity, to help you be grounded, and to help transform the fear and uncertainty and overwhelm. So subscribe to my channel if you want more of this. Share it with a friend. I will be sharing more honest, research-backed, East meets West type of content here about aging well. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.